I'm Erin Wilson with Best Life Physical Therapy with offices in Louisville, Kentucky and Marietta, Georgia. And today I want to talk to you about a concept called brain training. And this brain training technique is actually a writing exercise that I'd like you to undertake. It might take about 20 minutes to do. And it's all about controlling self-talk. So we've already discussed before about how accepting the fact that some of this persisting pain that you have in your body is not structural. It doesn't mean you're broken. It just means that there is a part of your brain that is creating a message, and it's almost like a fire alarm that's going off too loud all the time. And it is a part of us, and it's a part of us that is trying to help us, actually. It's actually trying to help us, but sometimes we need to give it a message that what it's trying to do is not helpful. So this exercise is your opportunity to talk to that part of the brain that's causing some of these symptoms and let it know who's the boss. And there are different ways to calm down this part of the brain. It's called the amygdala. There are different ways to do it, and everyone's different. So I'm going to give you some different options on this, because if I tell you, and I'll share with you what I'm doing, and I will share with you some other things, some other options that you have to create this dialogue. Sometimes there is a scary inner dialogue that your brain is having with your body, and it doesn't have words. It actually shows up with pain in the body. And so it might give you dialogue like, this is a really scary thing. You're starting to get a migraine headache. You need to go and shut everything down and go lay down in a dark room and be alone and not be with other people for at least a day in order to get over this. But what actually might be happening is that maybe there is a situation in your life, like a stressor or a situation with family members or friends that part of your brain doesn't think you're equipped to deal with. So instead of you actually dealing with that stressor or dealing with that person, the body will say, I'm going to deal with it for you, and I'm going to take you out of that situation and make you go and get rest. But sometimes even getting the rest and doing the things doesn't help. In fact, it's kind of like a bully on the playground coming and taking your lunch money. And if you give the bully the lunch money every day, then guess what? The bully keeps coming and taking your lunch money every day. But I want you to try to stand up to the bully. So there are a couple different ways that you can do this. You could take kind of a more aggressive approach to the bully, and you can just tell him, the jig is up. I see what you're trying to do here. It's not going to work. Send me a message about this, and that's stressing me out, and I promise I'll deal with this on my own. But I do not need to go lie down. We're doing this on my terms. So that would be an aggressive approach to that bully, and it works for some people. For some people, they may need a softer approach, like talking to your inner child. So that part of your brain that's kind of making you go and lay down and being a bully to you may be really feeling triggered by something that happened or some experience or some relationship that you have to deal with. And so it may feel like you need to go through the physical pains just to kind of protect you from having to deal with that. But in this regard, you can tell that inner child, I can handle these emotions without the distraction from the physical pain that you're giving me. I can handle it right now. And so you may actually have a mental picture in your mind about a cartoon character who's throwing a big fit in your brain, and you may be able to go in and soothe that cartoon character and say, let me give you a hug, let me settle you down and relax, and just know, let me introduce you to who I am. I'm actually, this person, I'm this old, and that inner child may not know how old you are. They may not know where you've come in this life. and who you really are today, because they're just a kid. They don't realize that you've grown up to be who you are today. So sometimes you can think that they think that that part of you thinks that creating the pain is being really helpful, but sometimes what the message that they need to hear is that it's not helpful. You think that creating this pain is helpful to me, but it's not. And so we can start to change the way that the brain creates that pain just by having this inner dialogue. So right now, I want you to take about 20 minutes, and when you're doing this, I want you to create your own statement that is natural and authentic to you, so you can say it fearlessly. And then I want you to save it somewhere where you can access it easily. When the pain starts to flare up, you pull it right out. In fact, what I did when I wrote the one for myself was I wrote it on paper with handwriting and cursive, and then I wrote it down on my phone in my notes section of my phone, and I saved it there. And then after I did that, I actually saved it as an audio file. So I can even go back and listen to my own voice talking to myself, saying it. So I've kind of, as I was writing it a couple different ways, I was able to go back and edit it and make it a little bit more authentic and important and effective for me, which is, I'm going to challenge you to do that for yourself as well. But before you begin, I want you to decide who you're talking to. Is it your body, or are you talking to your unconscious mind? And you may want to talk to your back and tell your back, this is not, you're a bully, and I'm not taking it anymore. Or you might go and talk to that inner child in your brain with a cartoon picture in your mind. You're going to assert your knowledge, and your knowledge is that you have no power over me. I know that the pain is coming from you. It's not in the joint, it's not in the muscle, it's not in the fascia, it's coming from up here. And just so you know, if you're still on the fence about whether or not you believe that muscular pain, that muscular tension is actually caused by your brain. The tension, the fascia tightness, all that comes from the brain. The spinal cord, the brain, it's coming from up here. And you can feel this when you're stressed about something, you kind of tense up. That's over time, that's what causes these muscular symptoms. One thing that so you know that you can tell that part of your brain, I know what you're doing. It's not going to work this time. There's nothing wrong with me, and I can reverse this pain. Assure it that you will address that underlying issue. I think that we have to acknowledge that this part of us is a protector part most of the time that's trying to keep our best interests at heart. And it's kind of time to say, you got to listen to me. There's something you need to address. But if you talk to that part and you tell that part, don't worry, I've got this. I'm going to address it. Do you trust me? I'm going to address it. That's what you let them know, that you're going to take care of it. And maybe they can back off a little bit. And then I want you to picture the pain stopping. Picture your body listening and deciding to shut the pain down. And that might be in different parts of your brain. You got little switches that you go through and turn off the switches. Or it may be that soothing, that cartoon character that I was talking to you about earlier, where you're just kind of giving that little character a hug and kind of stroking their hair or calming them down. And just kind of visualize the volume being turned down on your pain. You could also visualize that the pain pathways in your brain are wires, and somehow they've gotten crossed. The wires have crossed somehow, and you're going in and straightening out the wires and putting them where they go. Another way you can think about it is breathing oxygen into your brain and just visualizing oxygenated blood flowing to every part of your brain so that it's getting everything it needs and so that it can be happy. I always talk about that in my therapy with my patients, talk about the blood flow reaching all the places so they can be happy. Okay, now it's your job to write your version. And when you need it, you can take it out and you can begin reading it over and over again. So I'm going to share with you my version of my self-talk, and then I'll charge you to go ahead and write your own. So here it is. Oh, hi there. I see you. You're letting me know there's an issue I need to address. Come here and let me give you a hug. It's going to be all right. I'm here now. Can you feel me here breathing with you? Do you know who I am? I'm Erin. I'm 48 years old. I have a loving husband and 4 children and a physical therapy practice in Georgia and Kentucky, and I help people with their pain all the time. Can I soothe you? Yes, I know the situation's scary and it seems really scary, but I've got this. Distracting me with pain is not helpful. I will attend to the situation, but you need to trust me. And that is my pain vision, or my pain dialogue that I've got with my little pain area in my brain. And I've chosen to use the inner child dialogue, but you can use the assertive dialogue, or you can use the straightening out the wires picture, or however you want to make the dialogue with that part of your brain that is creating your pain. And I'm Erin Wilson again with Best Life Physical Therapy. Wish you all the best in dealing with this persisting pain.